She had always believed that kindness was a kind of currency, one that never ran out, no matter how little money she had in her pocket. For Nurse Amelia Hart, this belief was the quiet engine that kept her going through 12-hour shifts, sleepless nights, and the endless hum of hospital alarms. She wasn't wealthy, not even close, but she was rich in patience, compassion, and the kind of strength that forms only through enduring life's hardships one silent day at a time. But even strength wavers. The invitation came on a Thursday afternoon, tucked into her locker. She unfolded the small pastel card with tired fingers and read the printed words, "Annual Hospital Staff Gala, a night of gratitude and celebration." Every nurse received one. It was the hospital's yearly tradition to honor hard-working staff. Most nurses looked forward to it with excitement, an evening away from the chaos, a chance to look and feel special. But Amelia's heart grew heavy. She hadn't attended in 3 years. She simply couldn't afford a dress. Her eyes lingered on the invitation longer than she meant them to. She could already imagine her colleagues wearing beautiful gowns, smiling beneath bright lights, taking photos, and celebrating the work they had done together. She wanted to be there. She deserved to be there. But her bank account, burdened by bills, rent, and her younger sister's college fees, whispered a painful truth: it wasn't possible. She folded the card carefully and slipped it back into her bag, forcing a smile onto her face before stepping out again into the corridor. Her patient, little Mia Porter, needed her. Mia was 8 years old and recovering from a complicated surgery. Brave, cheerful, and endlessly talkative, she had become Amelia's sunshine in the dull routine of the ward. Amelia always made time to braid Mia's hair, read her stories, and bring her extra coloring sheets from the supply room. It wasn't part of her job, but compassion doesn't check time cards. This afternoon, Mia's father, Daniel Porter, arrived carrying a bag of toys and the gentle smile of a man trying to stay strong for his child. He had noticed Amelia's patience with Mia, the way she always stayed a bit longer, always offered a bit more comfort. "You're like her guardian angel," he often told her. Amelia always laughed it off. But today, Daniel noticed something different. A faint sadness in her eyes, quickly hidden behind her usual warm professionalism. "Is everything okay, Nurse Amelia?" he asked softly. She hesitated. Nurses were used to hiding emotions, but something about Daniel's sincerity made the truth slip out. "There's a staff event coming up, but I can't attend this year," she said, trying to sound casual. "It's nothing important." Daniel sensed there was more to the story. "Why not? You should go. If anyone deserves appreciation, it's you." She smiled awkwardly. "I just don't have a dress for it." "It's fine." "Really?" Daniel's heart tightened. He respected her even more in that moment. The sacrifices she made, for her patients, for Mia, were deeper than he had realized. And she wasn't someone who expected help. That made him want to help even more. Before he could respond, Mia looked up from her coloring book and said innocently, "Daddy, she should go. She's the prettiest nurse here." Amelia laughed, embarrassed but touched. Daniel watched her, realizing the truth of his daughter's words, not because of physical beauty alone, but because of the grace and kindness she carried like a quiet crown. And then, an idea formed. He took a breath, his voice gentle but full of purpose. "Nurse Amelia," he said, "would you consider being my first date?" Amelia blinked, stunned. "Your what?" "My first date in years," he clarified, his voice steady despite the emotion behind it. "I've been so focused on Mia's health, and life hasn't given me room for much else. But if you come to the gala, if you'll allow me the honor, I'd like to go with you." Her silence stretched for a moment. Not because she doubted his sincerity, but because no one had asked her such a thoughtful, heartfelt question in a long time. Daniel added softly, "I don't want you to miss out because of something as simple as a dress. You deserve a night where people see the extraordinary person you are." Mia clapped happily. "Say yes, Nurse Amelia. Say yes." A warmth spread through Amelia's chest. For so long, she had been the giver, of time, of energy, of love. It felt strange and overwhelming to be on the receiving end. Her throat tightened. I don't know what to say," she whispered. Say yes, Daniel said, smiling. And let the rest work itself out. Amelia finally nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude and disbelief. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen, not just as a nurse, but as a person with hopes, struggles, and a heart deserving of kindness. And that night, as she walked home under the fading glow of the evening sky, she held the gala invitation in her hand, not as a reminder of what she couldn't have, but as the beginning of something unexpected, gentle, and beautifully new. Daniel Porter had always considered himself a strong man, strong enough to survive heartbreak, strong enough to carry the weight of being a single father, and strong enough to smile for his daughter even when the world around him felt unsteady. But nothing tested his strength like watching little Mia fight through her illness. Hospitals had become a second home, and the people inside them had become a second family. Yet among all the white coats and hurried footsteps, one person stood out like a quiet miracle, Nurse Amelia Hart. From the first day, Daniel noticed her gentleness. She spoke to Mia with the softness of someone who understood a child's fears, and she spoke to him with the patience of someone who knew how difficult it was for a father to pretend everything was fine. Amelia had a way of making the cold hospital room feel less like a battlefield and more like a place where hope could breathe. But kindness has its own language, and Daniel, though burdened, was observant. On a calm afternoon, while Mia slept after her therapy, Daniel stepped out to find Amelia restocking medical supplies. Her shoulders looked a little heavier than usual, her expression more fragile. She was folding gauze when a small sigh escaped her, so quiet it was almost a whisper. Yet Daniel heard it. "Long day?" he asked softly. She startled slightly, then smiled out of habit. "Long week." But Daniel saw what others missed, the weariness in her eyes, the sadness she tried to hide beneath professionalism. He watched her move to the bedside table to check Mia's chart. Even tired, she was gentle. Even drained, she was kind. That was the thing about Amelia. Her heart kept giving long after her energy ran dry. "You do so much for us," Daniel said. "For Mia, I don't know how to thank you." "There's no need," she replied quickly, embarrassed by praise. "She's my patient. And she's special. And you're special for her," he said honestly. Amelia looked away, the hint of a blush on her cheeks. She wasn't used to compliments. She wasn't used to being seen. For a moment, neither of them spoke. It was Mia's colorful drawings on the wall, smiling suns, flowers, and a crooked stick figure nurse with the label Miss Amelia, that filled the silence. Then Daniel noticed something else. The hospital invitation lying on the counter beside Amelia's things. Beautiful, shiny, unopened. The golden envelope glowed under the fluorescent lights as if calling out the truth she wanted to hide. "You got the gala invitation too," he said casually. Her hand froze. "Oh, that. I'm not going." His curiosity sharpened. "Why not? You deserve a night out." "It's not important," she replied quickly. Too quickly. He knew that tone. He used it himself when hiding a struggle. Daniel picked up the envelope and gently set it in her hands. "You should go," he said. "You do more for people than anyone I've met." But Amelia shook her head lightly. "It's complicated." A pause. Then with a reluctant breath, she confessed, "I don't have anything suitable to wear. And I can't justify spending money on something like that. Not right now." Her voice cracked with the quiet humiliation of someone who rarely admitted hardship. Daniel felt a pull in his chest, a mixture of admiration and heartbreak. Here she was, giving every piece of herself to others, never asking for anything in return. He thought of all the nights she stayed late for Mia. The stories she read. The tears she wiped. The hope she revived. She was a blessing in scrubs. She deserved so much more than a struggle. A warmth rose through him, respect, gratitude, and something softer, something he hadn't felt in a long time. He stepped closer, speaking gently. "Nurse Amelia, may I ask you something?" She looked up, surprised by the seriousness in his tone. "Would you consider," he began, his voice sincere, "being my first date?" Her eyes widened. "Your first date?" "Yes," he said, a small smile forming. "My first date in many years. And I'd like it to be with someone who has shown my daughter, And me, so much kindness. Her breath caught. She wasn't expecting this. Not from a patient's father, not from anyone. But his tone held no pressure, no pity. Only respect. Pure, genuine respect. Daniel continued softly, please don't think of it as charity. I'm asking because I truly want to spend an evening with you. Not as a nurse, not as someone who's always sacrificing, but as Amelia. She swallowed hard, emotion rising unexpectedly. No one had called her just Amelia in a long time. He added, let me take care of the dress. Let me take care of the evening. You've taken care of so much already. Her eyes shimmered, not from embarrassment this time, but from the overwhelming warmth of someone finally seeing her worth. Mia woke in that moment, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Daddy, Nurse Amelia, why are you looking like that? Amelia laughed through her surprise, wiping her eyes. Daniel ruffled his daughter's hair. Mia, he said softly, I just asked Nurse Amelia something important. What did you ask? Mia asked eagerly. Daniel smiled at Amelia. I asked her to be my first date. Mia squealed with excitement. Say yes. Say yes. She's perfect. Amelia felt her heart swell. Her world, once filled with quiet burdens, suddenly felt lighter, brighter. She nodded. Yes, she whispered. I'd love to. And just like that, what began as a moment of despair transformed into something beautiful, an unexpected spark of dignity, connection, and hope. A reminder that sometimes, kindness circles back in the most tender and surprising ways.